Saturday night means?
Darren will be drinking heavily once more.
I don't know about heavily. I suppose it's all due to perspective.
Well, at least you're prepared. You've got the little man bag there, I take it, fully
Yep,
loaded.
Yep, it's down here, mate. Look. Got this is the latest in men's fashions.
Wow, it's beautiful.
It is. The best thing about it is the contents.
Oh, it looks so pretty though, mate. I could see you strolling around with that thing under your arm.
What's worse is, even my wife said, you need to get the proper esky for out in the garage and have a real one.
He doesn't want you going out in public with that thing. I know it.
Yes, even she's like, what are you using that for? Well, of course it's here and it's convenient and
it works. It serves a purpose.
I don't know what it's like there, mate, but geez, it's hot here for the moment.
Did get hot to Savo. I've got the aircon on in here, so if you're hearing the humming, that's me with air rolling because it was a steady 29 degrees in here and I wasn't sitting in here cooking tonight, so
it's probably like that in here at the moment. However,
very hot.
So we got a couple of little clutches.
A couple of small ones for a change.
But, unlike what potentially used to come from your neck of the woods.
There's been some monsters, but these are one that's had a high attrition. Very poor result for a young caramel double het granite albino pair. Sadly, only 3 eggs left, which saddens me greatly since that was what clutch I was really looking forward to this year.
Oh, well, with your odds, mate, it'll just be 3 caramel granites.
I definitely know one he's not because his head's out and it is not a granite head. So I feel like I am pushing poo uphill with a thin stick on this one for some reason.
Well, that's certainly entertaining.
3 eggs is not quite enough to work with, but we shall see.
We shall see. A few of the regulars have popped in. Katie Gordon, Chris Fletcher, Zach Dixon, Brendan Young, Carl Smith, Pete Morgan, Elizabeth, Donna Bennett, Keegan Lau, David
regular crowd.
Yeah, the road so actually right, yeah. Zach, Caramel Granites, he's praying for you.
I hope so, mate. I hope so.
Yeah. Corey, Daniel Quigg, Adrian and Gruff. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right, mate. But even in all, thanks for dropping in. So it's all Brent this season, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm taking over from Daz being a monster last year. It's I've got a little more than anticipated this year, so I'll have plenty to cut.
Yeah,
just don't know where they're living yet. But anyway, we'll deal with that.
Brent's actually been doing a Daz, and that is, I found this clutch in a drawer. God knows how that got there.
They're appearing out of thin air. It is just ridiculous now. It's crazy. As I'm feeding today and bashing this snake with a rat, like, she seems interested. Why won't she eat? Oh, that's because she's sitting on a clutch of eggs. It's whoopsies. No prelay. I think Sheree missed that prelay, and I gave up hope that it was even going to lay anything, and apparently it's done.
Yep. Well, it's like I was saying to Brent in that message today, there's some pairings that you want to get, and you'll work for months. You'll work those pairs in and out and off and combat males and do all sorts of incentive to try to get them to breed. And then you'll have another 2, you think, I might breed them. I'll put them in, and the next morning you get up and go, nah, I'm not going to do it. You open the drawer, nothing's happened. You take them out. You're guaranteed you'll go back, which is how it happens to me all the time. You kind of don't see any signs. You don't really pay attention because they've only been in overnight. And bang, gravid, clutch, perfect clutch, Yeah. And the one pair you've been busting yourself over just doesn't happen for whatever reason. It's just like, God.
Yep. It's very painful. And that is exactly that, girl. I've got 2 of those. That was a zebra, one of those freaky zebra, head axanthics. I've got 2 girls. They're basically identical. So, I paired them both up at the start of the season, maybe 2 times, 3 times tops, I reckon. And I actually caught the other girl hooked up and went, that's enough for me. I'll run with that girl and leave the other girl off for the season. I don't need double lots of it, And, of course, the other girl lays, and then I find this girl today. So...
Yeah, that makes it kind of interesting, that's for sure. It's like, bonus clutch. Daniel says, Dad's mother half wants you to fix a clock on your wall. Reckons it's been the same wrong time the last few lives. 100% it has. It doesn't need new batteries, and I keep looking past, going, I'll have to change that. And as soon as I walk past, because there's a bedroom in there, as soon as I walk in there,
no battery.
Forget about it. So I will do eventually, one day. It's quite handy to have there because as you're kind of walking around the house doing stuff, there's one big one in the kitchen and that one. You can always keep a check on the time.
But, could if it read the right time, yes.
Well, it could. So what happens is you just don't bother looking at it anymore because you know it's always wrong. So kind of pointless and becomes a decorative art piece.
You're terrible, Muriel.
Terrible, Muriel. Most people overseas wouldn't get that.
Mm-hmm.
Scotty Reed. Hey, Scotty. Mr. Gamble. Good to see you in the house, mate. Good luck, Mr. Sunky. How are you, Chris?
Sunky boy.
Best of luck for you. Need it. Haha. For a caramel granite, mate. You're going to nail it. Yeah, I just said he's probably going to get 3.
Oh, man, I don't know. I'm not feeling it tonight, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yep. So what else you got? I've had a couple of marble clutches hatch. I literally pipped, and it's like
exited.
It's like one pipped, head came out, and the next time I looked, within 6 hours, they were all out.
All out, yeah.
And 2 clutches of them, just boom, yeah.
They
couple
just
of marbles, 2 wires.
Yeah, those ants are unreal, mate. It's like that egg's the thinnest wall ever. They just, as soon as one sniffs the air, they're into it.
Yeah, it's almost like one comes out and yells out, "Freedom! Get out here, boys!
Let's go,
girls!" And off they
Let's
go.
go.
Yeah, they're all out. So, but they're there in case. So, we'll
have a look at them.
Yeah. Well, we'll do. You want to get your eggs?
Yep.
Snip?
I'll swap to that one. We'll get straight into the caramel double head clutch.
Yep.
So that's the monster clutch of 3.
Right.
That is not a caramel granite, so
Yeah.
that is not the greatest of starts.
So how many years you've been trying to nail this on the head? And you would think that this would be a fairly easy, being an incomplete dominant mutation with the caramel gene, you think this would be a fairly easy one to create, you would think.
It should not be hard, really, but funny enough, in the early days, I tried one of my head granite males to just a caramel coastal girl to get some poss heads out that would be caramel that I could play around with. And I'm still trying to prove those caramel girls out now, would you believe? Like one of those later clutches this year will be one of those caramel girls who's finding later clutch. So it's been, I reckon I've tried 4 years without success for caramel granite. This is the first year I've actually used the proper caramel double head granite albinos that I made from proper visual stuff. So
that was like caramelly straight out, is it?
That's a nice caramel.
It is. Yep.
Caramel to caramel, we should see 75% of the clutch will be caramel and
possible supers.
25% possible supers, half the clutch in just caramels.
Yep. Another one of those great things you see, mate. People calling hatchie supers, unless you know that both parents are proven supers, then you can't really tell a visual difference.
No, I see it all the time. People with miniature snakes. Oh, it's a super. This. I'm like,
Yeah, Katie Gordon. Apparently, my aunts didn't get that memo. Yeah, mine got it this year. Apparently, they received the email and came out early. Corey Farr says one year he had 3 good eggs. One hatched and was twisted. The other 2 were paradox. Anything can happen. There you go.
Sometimes, any egg can be magic. We've said it before. So
you got a little wildie there.
That's a very wildy. That is brown as brown.
Also, it's got nice contrast behind the head there, like grey and black sort of coloration.
Some funny little banding around behind the head there. So nice boy, but
I think we often detract or take away from some of the prettiness in wild types. Because we're always looking for the obviously the visible mutations as such, but some of the wild types are like quite stunning animals.
Yep. Yeah, I'm just a massive fan of just caramel. Just a standard old caramel like that thing there. For me, I don't know what it is. I just love caramel stuff. So adding more genes, obviously, tops it off. But
caramels are definitely one of my favourites. I like caramel.
Yep. And with caramel.
Tanya Louise Gamble said she missed the beginning. It's all right. We've only just started, so you haven't missed too much.
No, we don't have much to gamble on tonight.
That goes agreed. Super hatchies. Yeah, that's it, mate. Super hatchies.
Yep. And
Well, looks like you've run out of luck on this one, haven't you?
I mean, it was a big ask from 3. Look at this thing. Calm down.
I'm coming out.
Yep, that's out.
It's a J Brewer special, that one. Ripped straight out of the egg.
Yep, he's ready to go. But just okay, just get out there. He's just a standard caramel job.
Yep. Look at that. He's fully absorbed in that egg, the yolk, everything disconnected from the sac, a lot. So he's good to go, ready to come out.
It's ready to go. I'm going to coax him back in there, and then he's just going to come straight back on out again. So.
Yeah. You get him halfway in, his head will come back out. I played that game today with a couple of critters while I was cleaning. That was quite fun. Hoping they weren't going to smash me in the meantime.
No.
Going that way. Come back out that way. No, go back in here. Go back out there. No. It's for fun.
In here. Well, that is not a caramel granite, sadly.
No, not even a granite in that one.
No, I wasn't feeling the love on this clutch. I don't know why it was. I just was a disappointment with 10 good eggs and only 3 making it. It just never felt like it was going to bring me any joy.
Pity.
A shame.
I know how you feel, mate, when you're trying to crack something and you try for years and you don't get it. You know, like a moon glow.
They're easy, Daz. They're like, just a one in a 16, one in a 32.
I think I don't hold my tongue in the right way.
No.
I think during breeding season, obviously should be going in there and holding my tongue out the other side or something.
Should be doing something else. I know. Whatever you're doing, stop it because it's starting to annoy me.
Annoy you. Jeez.
Yeah. And here's the bunch from the caramel jug, axanthic to the ghost jug. Scungy looking eggs, as every year she has laid eggs that look like trash, but have brought out some magic. So
something fancy. Yep, Phil Colvin's in the house. G'day, Phil. Steve Johnson, 2 chimera make up for the bad odds for the caramel granites. There you go.
One can only hope.
One can only hope. That's it. David Avery asks you, will they be 66% het, Brent?
They will. From a 100% head to 100% head, they'll all be 66 POS double heads. POS head granite, POS head albino.
It's a nice little ghost. Yeah.
That one came shooting out. That was the one that had its head out this morning for its photo. And
it's got pretty little head markings on it.
Yeah, nice and light. They get that bluey tinge. Mr. Muz was saying earlier when I was talking to him on Messenger, when you hatch ghosts, I said, mate, just look around the head. And if you have a look around the side of the eyes, you see that blue blush.
Yeah, and the silvery eyes as well normally.
Yep. But they sort of stand out. You can prick them pretty easy. They're still quite brownish in the body. They're definitely lighter than a wild type, but because of that thick egg skin,
normally once the entire clutch is out, you can pick them easy as.
For sure. That egg skin once it comes off, it's a whole new ball game.
Yep. That's it.
Anyway, let's find a chimera, eh? Make some use of the night.
Got some art. Says, hey, Brent. Katie Gordon, I think I picked out the trashiest looking egg to be the chimney. There you go. With a chimera, in other words. Oh, another ghost.
Another ghosty.
Oh, that looks all right. Look at that.
That's nice.
I think it looks like it's got some nice striping on that too.
It does. I don't know where that's really coming from either.
I've actually got a really nice ghost from last season that's striped. It's really, really nice. It's posset pepper that I've hoarded to myself. That's you do.
What, hold back? No way.
It's like you pull them all out. It's like, oh, that's nice. I'll just keep that and see what it looks like. And now it looks really nice because it's quite contrasted.
See how it grows up.
It's a nice looking one.
It's a nice ghost. We'll leave him in. These are obviously any of these can be supers as well.
Yeah. That's not too bad so far, mate. 2 ghosts.
Good start. 2 from 2 on the ghost front. I don't know. This girl, I'm sure if I look back on, she never had big clutches, and most of them, there's been very ghost heavy, all of them for some reason. But,
ghost jag across caramel jag.
Caramel. So there should be, in theory, a lot of ghost action.
Yeah. Xanthic / ghost action and some jags, hopefully.
It's a shitty egg.
Is that really nice ghost jag you've got? Is that the
Yes.
parent?
The really light one.
Yeah, is that the mum or the dad?
That's the dad.
It's a good looking critter, that one.
White blue cystic,
Which,
which sadly will not be a viable snake.
is it even kicking?
Cannot find its head. Sadly, they make it this far, and then that is the end.
Emma Dixon reckons that last ghost is her Christmas present.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, Emma.
Zach must have pockets full of cash then.
That one, funny enough, look at the head on that.
Look at
It's
that,
actually got some
Pattern.
development of pattern on the head.
So
Does
it's a dead one, is it? Yeah? Or
he's very unwell.
which is to be
I'd say
expected.
Probably died late term, but you can see back in the body there, you see those really dark patches in the body. That's never a good sign. That's where organ failures and things have gone on in late stages of development. But interesting, it started to make some pattern on the head of that, which would make me think that probably was going to be something.
Well, memory serves me well, which rarely it does, but didn't the one last year pop out have a coloured head and a white body?
Yes, yep. They all seem to have fairly much pattern top end. It's just, I think the secret to it is getting something that's got in that lung area, more wild type. Get away from the super jag part of the mix through the crucial part where they don't. The super jags just don't generate any lung tissue. So I remember Deb Larks put up a good post years ago about they did a necropsy on some leucistic stuff and saw that what kills them is that concave area through the lungs is just
lack of
lack
development.
of tissue, and they just can't breathe. They got no hope. So
that's it. Katie Gordon says cut the window egg and then put a little smiley face on it. So I think she means cut it last.
This one, the egg,
the caramel. What's that?
It's a nice caramel. Yep. Heads down.
Oh yeah.
Nice pattern on top. It's more than ready.
Is that a jag or just a bit hard to pick up the pattern on?
Just a caramel.
Just a whitey. Yep. Or caramel. Yep. Very nice. They look nice caramel, especially when they get up to I suppose 12 months of age. They start to get a bit older colour and the caramel starts to pop out in them. Definitely a favourite.
Actually, you know what? You might be right. That might be a joke.
Yeah, I was just looking at the head pattern. That's why I just kind of looked at it and thought maybe it's got that
back of the neck.
Yeah, I was going to say it's got that solid stripe there at the neck and reduced pattern on the head, but it's not all. Sometimes the camera doesn't quite pick up what.
You
can see.
Back area of the head there definitely looks it. On the sides, it looked like heavy pattern, but that was the side of the snake. There's some lines going down the side there.
Yeah, is that a dorsal stripe in the back of that as well, like a solid stripe in the back?
Yeah, it's like a long line. That's the bit I couldn't see. That's a really wide, long line. Jags get down the dorsal.
Yep, not always easy to pick sometimes.
No, but the head pattern was quite heavier at the front too. It's quite thick head pattern for a jag at the front of the head anyway.
You do get that in jags though.
Yep, can happen. Mate, I've seen people with banded jags, who swear that they're wild type, but they're definitely jags.
These Coronas are nice when they've been in the freezer and chilled right now.
Oh, really?
How's yours, Brent?
No, my green cordial was just fine, mate. I had my party last night. So.
That's what you tell everybody. It's green cordial. We all know it's Midori and lemonade.
It wouldn't be tonight. I indulged in about 7 too many last night. So tonight, just green cordial, still hydrating the system. That's a nice ghost. Very wet egg.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing how much of a variation you can get with the contents of the egg? Some being quite dry, launching out, and others just like, no, not ready yet.
Yeah. This guy's got his head up.
He's obviously right spot ready to come.
Yep, but that's like he's done zero, absorption at this stage. So that's why I always tell people cut very high in the egg so you don't lose any of that
albumin.
Precious material they need to live off, because pretty much that's their first meal. They need all of that inside them. So
you don't want to lose any albumangles out of the egg.
No, mate. No. Look at that for a shitty looking egg, eh? You tell me that should be.
Katie Gordon should have picked that one.
I know this is Katie's egg up here. She likes the dirty window.
As long as you're not licking the window, it's all good.
Mate, whatever has to be done, just get it done.
That's it.
Another wet one. Oh, another ghost.
Ghost.
No, we're on a ghost, actually.
Is that a ghost jag? Looking at that head pattern?
It's a jag. It might even just be an axanthic jag. Try and get that bit up.
Glenn Thomas, g'day, mate. You popped in to say hello.
Thomas.
How are you, mate? Hope you're doing well.
Sorry, buddy. Yeah, probably just a straight up ghost, I would say. Normally the axanthic stuffs are quite dark. There's a bit more contrast on that. That one's quite light on the sides there.
So, so you reckon that's a ghost jag, yeah?
Ghost jag, yeah.
Yep. Okay. Very nice.
Thinking axanthic possibly for a second, but no. So.
Well, the next four are probably ghost jags with your odds.
I do love a ghost jag. So
I reckon I could put ghost to ghost jag and still get wild types. That's my luck.
Nothing you do out of an egg would surprise me. I've learned to expect the unexpected with your clutches.
I do occasionally crack some good stuff. Katie Gordon, the shitty little egg with the good one, but the window egg is giving me anxiety.
We'll save the window for last then. We'll call that the Katie egg.
We'll call it the anxiety egg.
We'll go to this corner then. These eggs were just... a couple of them were just, like that one, just starting to form a little bit of mould around the edges too.
Yep.
Weird.
Yeah, some of these ants that hatched out, there's a couple of crappy eggs in there that never hatched, and my wife says, "Oh, you should clean the tubs out." And I'm like, "No, because it is what it is."
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, we keep saying all the time, we show it as it is, and I said if I cleared it out and threw all the eggs out and everything, they've literally hatched out, and I've just left the piles as they are, and they're patiently cruising around the tubs at the moment. Oh, Lucy.
That's a Lucy for sure.
Yep.
You can just start to see that lung development sucked in area under there. Sad part of jag to jag, which is why I do avoid it most times. The only reason I'll continue to do this pairing was it spat out some weird things 2 years in a row. So it'll be nice to try and unlock what's happening with these chimeras, how they work. If you can get some to live. I know Deb and Wayne got one to live for some time. It's the longest one I've ever seen live.
Yeah, lived for a few years, I think, but they never really had huge success with it. As in, it was always a struggle. Never really got a lot of size on it and everything. It's a gorgeous animal, though.
Yeah, you saw it in the question.
Yeah, Brent and I were speaking before, and we think the key to it is having the wild type pattern, so to speak, along where the organs are, where your heart and lungs and all that sort of stuff is. You'd have a better chance. So if the back half was more the leucistic form, there might be a better chance of it surviving. But being a chimera, the reproductive organs, it depends on what the organs are as to what it will reproduce. So if they come from the super jag side of things or ghost or whatever,
it's going to be only one option out of the. It's not going to be compared as both. So
yep.
This is a pretty scabby looking egg too. I don't mind the look of this egg.
Scott Smart says Raven is very feisty. She has tried biting Jenny 4 times so far.
Excellent. Well, at least it's hungry. He wants to eat. That's good.
That'll toughen him up.
Yep. Oh.
More ghost?
More ghost jag does. More ghost jag.
Very nice.
Nothing wrong with ghost jags. And this has been the story of this girl. Seems to pump out the ghost jags profusely. I mean, it's what probably should be the number one morph out of that clutch.
Well, ghost jag to head axanthic caramel jag, you'd expect a few.
Caramel jag. It's what we should see the most of, but it certainly lives up to expectations every time.
And they're a good looking snake too.
Beautiful. Love the ghost jag.
Wayne O'Kelly, mate. Long time no see. I hope you're doing very well, my friend. It's a good looking critter, isn't it?
Not bad, not bad.
Yeah. Wayno, so do the other non-Lucies have any genetic flaws, Brent?
0. They're all just your average standard snake. From the few clutches I've done that have had the chimeras in them, all the rest have grown up perfectly. No issues whatsoever. Much like in a clutch where you have jags and wild types. The wild types are 0 problem. They're not in any way affected by having jags in the clutch as siblings because they don't get that on their DNA chain. They're unrelated, nothing to do with jags. So.
Yep. Katie says, you better send me that window egg now, Brent Smith.
We're close. Yeah.
Good to see you, Wayno. I hope you're doing well, my friend. It's been a while, buddy.
Certainly a name that's been around for a while.
Yeah.
All right, last chance for magic.
Wayno says, thanks, great answer. Which is a first for Brent.
Ooh.
Is that a caramel jag?
That is a very nice caramel jag.
Oh, what a win for Katie. Send it
win,
with the credits, she says.
Yep, no, not a problem at all. That's got a really nice pattern on it, though.
It is.
Just
nice contrast.
Yeah. Always a lot of variation in the caramel jags.
Nice looking creatures, aren't they? Eli Cape says, how many days old are these eggs? So what's the kind of rough, how many days?
What is this clutch? Number 4. They would be 60 days on the 18th. What is today?
It's the 19th, so 61 days.
61. Yep.
61 days.
Just past.
Yep. You'll get that variation. Obviously, that's to do with temperature. So in the incubator, Brent, where were these sitting? High or low? I'm guessing probably a bit lower than normal? Or?
Just one down from the middle. And the middle's where the probe is. And the probe sits at about 30.5. So these would have been between 30 and 30.3 or something, on that one short down.
So I think around 31 to 31 and a half sort of thing, you're at that kind of 55 days, give or take.
Yeah.
So that extra degree is where you get those extra few days. So a slightly cooler temperature will just mean it's a slightly longer incubation period. So and generally doesn't hurt them at all. You could probably incubate them at 29. They'll all still hatch. It just might take 70 days. So
yeah, people often get worried, say, oh, should I cut it at day 60? I say, no, just let it roll. Depending on the temps you run at. If you run at, 30 degrees or 29 degrees, you might go out 65, 68 days, no issue at all. The longer they're in that egg, the better. It's only when one pips you want to be sure that all of them have access to get out. That you might want to start looking at others. So.
Yep, that's it.
So no,
Sharon,
I don't mind, mate. 60 to 63 days, no stress. Let them roll.
Nah, well, hence why we always say to pip the eggs once the first one pips the egg itself. Because you cut it at day 55 and it's sitting at 1.5 degrees cooler, and you could be cutting them 10 days earlier. So
yes,
it's always best to see the first little cut in the egg. One's always going to pip an egg. So be very unlucky for nothing to pip an egg at all and for them to all die in an egg. So there's always going to be one pip somewhere. I've never had that issue before myself. Sharon Harris, good evening, guys. Hey, Sharon, how are you? Wayno Kelly says, how you boys been? I hope well, mate. I've been, well, old head's been playing up the last few months, but it's all starting to fly in the right direction now, which is good. How about yourself, Brent?
Mate, all going well. I was enjoying the quiet time of winter, just pairing up snakes, not many hatchies left, cutting back the hatchie feeding to every fortnight. And now my world is ruined. All that fun times are about to disappear, I feel. I feel like I've ruined my life.
I think I've sent it to you 1,000 times in messages, mate. I feel your pain.
Yes.
I was where I was last year, where you are now, scratching my head thinking, where
What
the
have I
hell
done?
am I going to put all this stuff? And you find a way. You get there. You know, it happens.
I'm scared, mate. I'm scared, to say the least. I tried. I intentionally tried for maybe 5 extra clutches, thinking, I normally pair up 30 pairings and get 20 to 25. 25 on a good season. It's rare. You'll never get 30 out of 30. So always trying young boys and different things. So I thought I could squeeze an extra. I thought I'd go. Let's push it to 35. I think I ended up doing maybe 37, 38 pairings, and like those couple that went early, I just pulled a couple straight away. So I reckon I probably easily did 34, 35, decent pairings. And they're one of those years where I'm going to have 34 or 35 clutches.
That happens. Well, like I said before, mate, like there's some things you pair and you'll spend an entire season doing everything, combat males, throwing different snake skins, try all sorts of stuff to try to stimulate that particular pair to mate. And you might even see them locked up and mating, but it just doesn't happen.
Yep.
And every now and then you just, probably like me last season, where same thing, I thought I'll have a go at this, and then just everything went, like everything. I think half the stuff just looked at each other, and that was enough. So it happens, mate, but it doesn't happen every year. So many times you pair stuff and, you won't be successful, or you'll get some slugs, like.
Definitely.
I know I've spoken to a few people that have had several clutches of slugs, haven't had a great successful year. I know you've had the same. I know I've had the same. It happens. It's a reality of breeding. You don't always have, everything's not always 100% and perfect and spot on. There's always, anomalies, so to speak. So, when you want 30, you need to try for 35 because you're going
to miss.
Generally speaking, miss you. But occasionally, in the situation right now, every box gets ticked and boom.
It's the perfect storm of, I can't believe how many. I'll check at the end of the season. It's mind-boggling. I think it could be 34 out of 36 or 37 or something. But it's also, I look on the board, the last 12 clutches bar one that was found and had some clutches sitting on the heat, which didn't go, eggs went bad. They're probably healthy laid. I'm pretty sure the last 12 or 14 clutches, 0 slugs, like just all perfect clutches on top of, last year, girl laid 15, this year laying 25 to 30. They're all up in size, no slugs. It's a perfect storm, And
well, that goes to, anybody that asks me, and I'm sure you probably say the same thing, Brent, when it comes into particularly the condition of your females. When you're coming into breeding season, you hear quite regularly, the people say, it's the 1st of April, it's feeding. Well, I know you don't. And when you do that 1st of April, 2 months, the snake doesn't care. It's still looking for food.
Still warm. Yeah.
So I think you found with, an on-tap supply of rodents, when you keep that food, suddenly when people say to you, like I've been questioning in the past, how do you know you're, which makes me laugh, but, my Darwin's dropped 32 this season or something like that, pure head albino Darwin girl. They go, I've never heard of a Darwin having that many heading nuts pure. Well, because I bought it back, 13 years ago or something, rather 14 years ago, when there wasn't anything else around, and second generation from Simon Stone back then. But because they're well-fed and big girls, more feed they got, more condition they have, the more energy they have to put into a big clutch, and it's probably what you've seen. I know you've pumped a few things with feed this season, and you're seeing the results from that.
And it's a lot of the girls, exactly what you said. They get older, more mature. They're very good. They know what they're doing. But when they're all 4, 5, 6 kilo girls now instead of 2 to 3 kilo girls, you can't stop it. Pairing it up, you're going to see more eggs.
Definitely.
It's how it goes.
That's it. So I need to scroll back here. I'm going to go back to. Hang on.
You're going to be quick tonight, Daz. I'm out of here 8:30 for movie night, so you keep an eye on that clock before you're
I am.
35-pound boost mouth erupts.
Adrian says, have you guys bred any children's or Stimsons this year? Yes, I have, and I'm sure Brent has as well. I actually have some here. I'm going to show quickly in a second. And that's what I was looking. Brett Moy, when are you doing an ant cutting episode? Well, the answer to that, Brett, is I was intending to, but unfortunately the ants didn't wait. They literally pipped and flew out of the egg within 6 hours. So I have those clutches here. They're head marbles.
They had their own show.
Yep, they had their own show. They're like, we're out and we're free. So they're still in their containers, haven't been touched. So we get those in a sec.
Cool to see baby marbles.
Yep. Katie Gordon says, you're going to need extra staff this season, Brent. I can feel your wife's dismay at all these hatchies. Oh, absolutely.
I'm in the shit so bad.
Brent's got a straw and he's struggling to still breathe through that.
Her face when I just come out with clutches and look what I found, and she's just the look of pure hate. It
goes from a look of happiness up to a point. From then on, it's disgrace. What have you done? You know the limit, and you've broken it. Donna Bennett, what age do you start breeding your snakes?
I used to rush like we all did when we're young and stupid and try and breed snakes at 18 months old and 1.5 to 2 kilos. But I gave up pushing females at that age. Now I like the girls over 2.5 rule. So 2.5 years old. And I like them to be 2.5 kilos, but certainly over 2 kilos. They have great clutches first time, and that following year, they'll back it up with, 25, 30. When I find when you crunch them at 18 months, you'll get 10 to 15 eggs out of them. But, mate, that's all you're getting for a few years after that too. They really struggle to recover and get better clutches. So
I agree.
You do the same now. You don't rush anything 18 months anymore.
2.5 years. The first 18 months, I don't mind pumping a bit of food into stuff. There's been studies done at that at UWS in Sydney and stuff on power feeding, so to speak, or feeding, to a refusal sort of thing with zero detriment to the animal itself. Yep. So I think the first couple of years, you're looking at growth anyway. So all that extra energy they put into growth. And that's the difference between a hatchie still being a hatchie at 12 months of age because it's been fed once every 3 weeks with a pinky, as opposed to it's been fed once every 3 days with a pinky that's now, almost an adult size at 18 months of age. So, that's the metabolism's the same, but the energy resource they have spare is able to be put into growth. So it makes a big difference. So,
and saying that, you would have bred plenty at 18 months. Like it can be done, definitely. I've had males, yes and no.
More so.
Those albino Bredley heads I got from you, bred at 18 months. That was pushing, and that was one that surprised me because with Bredley blood into it, I really didn't think they'd want to go that young, but it can be done. I just don't push it anymore, and this is the problem you have with boys, that caramel double head. He's a young fella, and this is the issue you get where the girl lays 10 and only 3 make it because they're just not great eggs, the viability not good.
You see it year in, year out. There's plenty of people out there that pump their animals really hard to breed 18 months, and the results are always not the greatest. Yep. Can they? Yes, they can. Is it a great result? Not compared to being that extra year of age and maturity and extra condition. I think if you feed them up hard and you get them to a nice size at 18 months, that extra 12 months, they kind of mature.
Yep.
Once they kind of get past that, and I think it makes a big difference. We'll try to fly through some of this stuff. Elizabeth says, as my chimera has grown, you can now see a direct split in half on her back and belly. Super weird. Looks like one side is hypo caramel, the other side is normal, and she still has those white, blue spots and patches. Very cool looking critter.
Very cool. Pictures.
Yeah, pictures, Elizabeth.
Share.
Share. Send some to me and I can flick them up too. That's for sure.
Me and Daz are here sharing our life away.
Yeah, Wayne Kelly says, I love seeing all this. I miss it. You're not keeping anything anymore, mate? Chris, awesome work, guys. Crew far. Have you run the numbers? You may be pushing high 600. We'll have to wait and see, I guess, with that one, won't we? Sometimes we don't like to talk those numbers.
I'll say nothing.
Yep. Jason Allen says, then you speak to the guys that breed chondros, lucky to get 50%. Well, that's the reality of it.
Yeah.
Steve Johnson, do you think that the Lucies would have a better chance at living if they're incubated at lower temperature so they can develop slower? Makes zero difference, mate. It's a genetic issue. It has nothing to do with temperature. So, a Lucy, regardless, will die. They will not survive.
It's linked in the gene. Whatever makes the super jaguar blocks the development of the lung tissue. So there's been done by so many different breeders all over the world in every different combination. It's like saying you're trying to breed, neuro out of Jags and things. It's just, I don't believe it's ever going to happen. So
mate, I remember when Jags first did out here, all those that were getting their hands on me going, oh, yeah, we're going to get the world's first Lucy's to survive out here. It's like, no, mate, you can't modify something that has a genetic issue when it's in its super form. Doesn't matter what you pair it with. There's not going to be a miracle gene existing in, a python here that doesn't exist overseas. It's just
something that overrides it. It's certainly nothing that's in the market at the moment.
Yep. So what weights are Morelia ready to breed at? As Brent said, around 2.5 kilos is a good size. Chris says, all right, get off, go watch a movie.
I was just talking to Mr. Sunky. I did tell him it was movie night.
Yeah, I'm punching through. Alison Zapala, what is the latest your max laid eggs in a season?
Christopher Sunky should answer that question. I tell you, he's the most dedicated pairing guy who'll pair stuff from June till January. He got a clutch from his coastals last year that hatched in I think he said the 5th of April. Correct me, Sunky. I'm sure it said it was very early April hatching from coastal blood stuff. And he's just got a girl that I was talking to him tonight that's just ovulating now, coastal line. So it's amazing how different people's seasons can go. Obviously, that girl's just going to be a late runner all the time, but it's amazing the variation in it. It's this year for me, my season's been early, funny enough. Where Daz, I think you were a bit late. Other guys I've talked to are late.
Yeah, I've still got ants incubating at the moment. So,
yeah, I think it was so cold earlier in the year. My guys found it cool. Mine's adults are in a garage area, so it's concrete floor. So they felt the cold early in the season, wet, cold year. They went in early, and I'm 3 weeks ahead of where I was last year. As I write up on the board, I look at the dates, and all of them are 3 to 4 weeks ahead of last year. So
there's a lot of subject to in all these theories. Where do you live? What do you keep them in? Do you have a specified room where you can manipulate temperatures and all that sort of stuff? So there's a lot of variation.
What you've let stuff drop to. There's a lot of variation, but Sunky's the record holder. I've never seen coastals hatch in April before. That's even late for Bredley,
Yeah, no. But in terms of max specifically, I think the latest I've had them lay would be probably November, late October, November. Hatch kind of beginning January sort of thing, mid-January. That's the kind of and that's extremely, like I said, I've got stuff sitting on eggs now. So I very late. So normally my Antaresia would go first.
Yes.
I'd normally have Antaresia eggs before
everything.
Python, carpets. Yep. Samuel Dittmar, what percentage bredli blood are we at with the albino bredli this season? Mine is still 50-50s. What about you, Brent?
With the same, mate?
Yep.
I was I don't say lazy. I got visuals from that very early, and I just sat back and grew up my visuals and didn't bother pairing and making more, left it alone. I wasn't really out to pump that project, which was a mistake because I know Joe Ball pumped them and did really well out of that thing, and I just sat back and I thought I'll grow up my visuals and exactly that, make 75%ers.
I'm sorry, did you say you sat back on that project?
Well, you were slept back. You were like in a coma on that project.
I was Captain Snooze in the top of the tower waiting for my true love to come along and wake me up.
You were again still trying to pair up your original hets while I was trying to pair my visual male to adult to a Bredli again. And you know what? I could not get it done. I still don't have 75% hets because I tried for 2 years with a visual male to wild type Bredli and just couldn't nail it. It's that mix of season that I couldn't get it right. Yet I sold an albino Bredli to a guy up in far North Queensland who's made 75% heads and is breeding them this year.
Yeah.
You know, so
there you go.
That's how it goes. You know, you can't.
You win some, you lose some. I said that when I did it. You know, like we know someone that tried for 10 years and never had that success.
Yeah,
you know, I had a crack the first year, manipulated a few things, and was lucky to get it out myself. Joe Ball as well. I think we were the only two that have ever. Well, we were the original two that kind of made it. I'm pretty sure we actually did it the same year.
Same year, yeah. I don't know. It was 2017 or 2018 or something. It was
probably about right, something like that.
It's a while back, but
I do remember I was doing a talk on polygenics at Hawkesbury Herp Society that night, and that was the night you bought the babies. You took the trio albino bred eye from me. Was that night?
Oh, yes, I remember that in the car park special.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
So there you go.
What a great trio they turned out to be, mate. I love it for it. They were fantastic.
Yeah, yes, I know. Now that I've actually got some of my own. Yeah.
I know. 5 years later, you caught up. Thank you.
Yeah, all right. I forget where I was up to now. Bruno, Ryan Shepard, have to rewatch. Yes, rewatch. Mites. There's an easy fix to mites, mate, on pythons. A lot of people do the hard route, but there is a very easy way to get rid of them within a few weeks. Elizabeth, I'll take some more photos on Monday and send them to you guys. Yep, definitely.
Cool. Post them up.
David Hunson, hey guys, worked every night. You guys have been live. Been too long. How have you both been? Very well, mate. Brent, you?
Glad we can entertain some people while they're meant to be working, and while they're earning money, we're entertaining them. That's good.
I don't know. Well, sort of entertainment, I suppose.
We try. You don't know about that work thing. Do you understand that word yet, or it just doesn't compute with you?
What?
Something
wrong. I'm sure I heard something going here. I think it went round this and in there and around that way and out the court again. I'm not sure.
Professional breeder. We'll just stick with that, eh?
Yeah, that's it. What are the dimensions? Adam says. What? Adrian says. Sorry. What are the dimensions of the tubs you house your adult breeders in? I'm making some melamine enclosures and undecided on the final size. Good size for adult carpets, mate. It's your good old standard. 4 foot wide, 2 foot deep. Anything from 450 to 600 high, depending on your room and space and everything, is a good size for an adult if you're going to make something in melamine. Other than that, for my adult carpets, and I know Brent's the same, we use the massive boa tubs or vision python racks. We call them out here. Overseas, they're called boa racks or something or other. They're a huge tub, which are great for adults. And I've kept 9 kilo bread lie in those. But if you're going to make melamine, which is quite nice to be able to see the animal in its
absolutely.
If you have that space, yeah.
I'd love to have all my adult females in enclosures. 6 foot. Like you say, dimensions you said, 2 foot, 2 foot, and have all the boys in vision tubs. And that way all the girls you can just see and admire and watch them all year, watch them going through the cycles and enjoy them. I certainly do miss the days. I still have some enclosures, but not as many. I used to have everything, in enclosures, but space just kills you.
Same, mate. When I had a warehouse, you were there. I think when at the middle of the warehouse, I think it was about 12 4 by 2 by 2 foot enclosures that just had to be destroyed.
That whole left side where you'd walk into your warehouse, that wall was just, that's unreal. That's what I dream of, having that much space to have that many enclosures.
And that's what it comes down to. If you have the space. If someone said to you, here's 1,000 square meters, do what you like with it.
Help yourself out.
I think the majority of people, when we're talking adults, not so much hatchies, but adults, I think, regardless of what it is, you would have it in a bigger glass fronted sort of enclosure to enjoy, especially the girls. I really enjoyed having the female. So when I introduced a male, I could introduce the male, shut the glass doors, and then I could sit back and watch the interactions and make sure everything was going to go smooth. There wasn't going to be dramas. You didn't want, the female munching on the male, particularly with Aspideides or, reptile feeders and such.
Yep.
So, that was always nice. Rather than put them in a drawer and then sitting there and getting on your phone and playing with your phone and waiting to hear bad things going bang, 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 crash in the drawer.
Yes.
So
it's so loud in those tubs where you hear things bouncing around.
You throw a couple of males,
something's wrong.
And you can sit there and you know when it's time to pull them out. crash, bang, water bowls banging and bashing, and it's like, oh, and they both come flying out. So
yes, today I was feeding, and you feed one, and they all know when feeding time is. They hear the tubs, they hear the rolling up of other snakes, and you sort of behind you, you hear this tub just get absolutely whacked. And you're like, hey, just wait your turn. Like,
yeah, that's exactly right. So that's kind
what
of
we got here.
the dimensions.
This is the marble.
Yeah. So
go big street.
All good. Yep. Probably it's not a bad idea. Yeah, this was just like I said, these guys literally picked and launched out. So I've just got another tub down here. I'll just give them a remove out the eggs. So that's how they hatch. You can see there, a couple of crappy eggs as you get.
What was this pairing? This is not the marbles, obviously.
So the marbles in here.
Oh yeah, they're under.
Yep. So aren't they feisty?
This was just head to head, was it?
Yeah. So probably all out now. There's a crappy egg there, a couple of bad ones. So that looks like one didn't pip. Yep. There's one that didn't make it. So it's got a defect there. Tipped the finger, spinal. Yep. Unfortunately. But that's in the bin to go in the freezer later. There's a bit of paper towel. What,
you freeze that stuff?
Sorry?
You freeze that?
I do. Yeah, normally, unless it ggets tied up and straight into the bin. Oops, This one's launching out of here already. Better watch that.
You need some laces, mate.
Yeah, I do miss them. Well, not that I've had laces, but I had Spencers in the past.
Yes. Very useful.
Yeah, it's nice to have a big monitor that you can just go, right, Ackies are the same.
Yep.
So we'll just take these out. So there's one here.
My big boy did dine on that albino granite jaguar that I thought wouldn't make it. It did not make it, and he had it for breakfast. That's nice.
Yeah.
Just head marbles these. There's no tarbles in. No possibility.
These ones. Not in these. I'll just get these out.
Not many visuals then. It wasn't a huge clutch, but
no, there was a few. Didn't quite the thing, so it's just all what's us. But that's how it goes. Like, how many times have you said that it's not always doesn't always go your way. Odds favours, particularly with me. Less so with you, Brent. You seem to have all of
that. Some days, not all days. I'll take it when it comes.
Yep. So I'll just give this a quick wipe out. We'll chuck some paper towel in there. And I'll chuck a water bottle in that later. Look at that. Fits perfectly. So you've got one little marble there. Well, this border, that one just bit me. He's like ready. He's like, yes, I'm on fire.
Feed me, mate, out of the egg. They want a pinky already.
Yep. So
Elizabeth saying my laces will not touch slugs or dead babies. If I have a rat or something that a snake had touched and didn't have to wash it, otherwise the laces freak out. Yeah, that's true. I've got 5 laces, and I would say 2 of them love reptiles or eggs or slugs or any meat item, including prawn heads off the barbie or whatever. Just don't care. They're insane.
Don't come the raw prawn.
Yeah, crunchy head, no problem. But yes, I do have a couple of others that, and like you say, they genuinely go, wow, I'm scared of that, and back away like it's something that could be dangerous to them, But funny enough, my big boy will get a dead hatchie and flog the absolute bejesus out of it. Like it's just that instinct in them. They just go to town on them. So they know they can be dangerous. That's light, isn't it?
Yeah. It's funny, you notice with the carpets, they're all pretty relaxed. These guys are like ready to kill each other. Look at them. They're like, come here, mate.
They're just nuts ants. They go off.
Yep.
That's why you don't get a lot of time. You set these up. You get the punch on.
Look at them. They're all like, come on, eat your face off.
How quick do you set these up? I try to get ants out quick, and into their own tubs within a couple of days because of this.
Of course, that, they try to rip each other's face off. Yeah, I normally take them out a bit quicker, unless you're in a big enough tub where they can all go under some paper. And I find that when they go under the paper, they tend to calm down. They'll happily pile up into a little ball, you know. But as soon as you start to disturb them like that bunch, they all just want to kill each other.
Mm.
You know, they don't. They just, you know, snappy little things. So
They're very excitable.
Yeah, very excitable. So
Is this another head-to-head?
Yeah, this is another clutch. So we'll get rid of some of these dead eggs in here. 3 there, 4. So these all literally overnight, just bang, out they came. So,
move it under the camera, Daz. Show me.
Once again, sorry, mate. Thank you. Once again, you can see that egg there.
Yeah,
completely rotten and gone off the whole lot, and 4 eggs attached to it, which all hatched.
All perfect. Yep,
all perfect. So, once I get these out.
Don't kill yourself trying to pull away dead eggs. Just let them ride.
Yep, let them roll. Doink.
Just get off.
There. I'll just quickly dump these out so I can wipe that tub out before they all kind of wake up and go, what's going on? There was a couple of tiny ones in here. I wonder if there was a set of twins in that.
Could be cool. You can always pick them. 2 midgets.
Yeah, 2 midgets. I'll have a bit of a look-see.
And David saying Izaki was eating all the leftover pinkies when he was feeding. Got a bit of size. Yeah, mate, it helps. My Lacey's love Mondays because I feed the entire hatchery room on a Sunday. Shree cleans it on Monday. And Lacey's get what's left or didn't get eaten, or it's stupid ones that wrap up and then decide, I won't bother eating that. So Lacey's love it. Hello. They're so nice when they're out of the egg, aren't they? They
beautiful.
So much variation as they grow. Head pattern wise, and the body color starts to pop on them.
Yep. So 2 in this clutch.
2 out of how many? 8 or so.
Probably a few more. This one's doing a runner on me. Get back in there. Another one in there. Just wants to hide.
Even lighter, isn't it?
Yeah.
A bit lighter on the head.
That's 2, 3. Actually, all pretty small. Actually, 4, 5. So there you go. 5, 6, 7. Ouch. 8.
Getting savaged.
10, 11, 12, 13.
Nice.
13. And that wasn't an ouch of, geez, that hurt. It was like just, one nailed me on the finger. It was like a reaction, They don't actually hurt at all.
Yep.
There we go. Not bad little clutch.
Beautiful little bunch.
Hey, I'll just put that on. Get this over here. Spray this
Brent Moy saying his tarbal to double head is his favourite Childrini pairing. Mate, they're the good pairings when you can get to that stage of a visual tarbal to use over double head. You'll get an awesome clutch of variation.
Yeah, I got some of that cooking up there,
stuff.
I think. So I'll probably be making some new versions of those soon. Hopefully. But there we go. So if they're going to stay in there.
Brett's saying they all eat, even when small. They will, mate. You just got to find the little pinkies. The baby pinkies.
Some of these are quite small. So this is a new girl this year. So, they're really, really tiny.
They always amaze me, the children's girls, how small they are, where they pack 8 or 10 eggs. They look such a small snake to produce clutches sometimes.
Have a look at this dude just sitting
right. Cobra.
He's sitting right up there. Sorry.
Look at him go.
I'm an Eastern Brown, mate. Look out.
Stand back. The marbles seem quite sedate compared to some of the wild types.
Yeah, definitely. It's funny, a few people say the marbles are really hard to get feeding. The ones I hatched last season, they smash food straight away. But
yep,
you can definitely see that they seem to be a much calmer the other feisty things.
You've upset them now. Yep,
that one just wants to go. This one's going to hang. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113,
They're all different though. Most of them I find kick off. They're pretty good, but you got the odd one that's a right pain in the butt. But it happens.
Yeah. I actually, for Antares, I actually like them to be a little bit feisty like this.
Yeah, it's a good sign.
Yeah.
Very good sign.
They normally like to punch into the food pretty quick and straight away. So just now that they've cracked and pooed and everything all over me.
Made a beautiful mess. Mick Lewis saying he had Windora pair have 22 viable eggs go in incubator. I mean, that's a huge clutch for ants. That's very solid effort.
I think
that's impressive. I don't think I've even had more than 15. None of my ants are huge, so I don't really push them to be big. But 22, that is a cracker.
I've had 21 from a stimmy. I reckon that stimmy that's sitting in there on eggs that's maternally cooking at the moment, I reckon she's on that at least. It'll be interesting to actually get that count.
Good size.
Body count when she actually comes off them to have a look. So I'll probably have to pull those eggs soon. if they hatch in a V35 tub, they're just going to be everywhere. I'll
going to be
come in the room, they'll be hanging off everything in the vision racks.
Yep. There's some of the holes in those vision racks. I reckon there's some of those small children would poke straight through those. They often need a couple of feeds before they safe in those.
Yeah, I've had a few. Yeah, got to be very careful with the holes because they can actually poke their heads up. So whenever I've got baby ones in there, I always draw a couple of push and pulls. Because I had one mate that actually reefed it open. The baby ant had its head in there, and he actually took the whole front jaw off, and it survived. And he actually fed it, and he kept it for a while. He kept it. It survived a number of years before it eventually got knocked on the head. Because he couldn't do it when he was getting out of reptiles, so he kind of didn't have much choice. But
gave up.
Yeah, he just said no. But it's
horrible. Brett's on it. Plaster's tape is the secret. It's the old gyprock
stuff. Yep.
Mesh tape. Just put that over the top and stick it on down. You've got to clean the dust off first is the trick because those vision racks tend to gather a little bit. So, give it a good wipe over on top and then stick your tape on top. That'll prevent that problem.
Definitely.
Cassidy, you are extremely late. That's like an hour past late. So no caramel granite, sadly. 3 eggs was beyond even my ability to fluke it with 3. So...
which is really saying something.
It is. I was. I don't know why. I just didn't think it was going to happen. So now I just pray I've got another girl who'll prove out. Otherwise, it'll be another year of tears for me and caramel granites.
Jeez. So, what did you say this was? This is year number 4. Did you say or 3?
This must be the 4th year, I think. 4th year of trying with those possets. Anyway, now I've got the caramel 100% double heads. It should be easier, but. It has not proven so as yet. So that's 2 clutches down without any joy. So only one more. Like I don't like going out and doing 5 or 6 clutches of anything. It's even 2 or 3 for me. I like a big variety, not so much, repeat clutches of the same thing. So just proving out one other girl. The other girl's a caramel 50% posset granite, posset albino. Paired to, I'm pretty sure I just put a straight granite head albino over her to prove her out. So I'm just praying the granite side of it comes through and we might see a caramel granite yet.
See a granite, see a white one, and you'll be happy.
Mate, that would be something special. Sun glow granite and a caramel granite will do me fine.
Yeah. So that's definitely going to happen.
Yep. That was a better clutch. I think there was 17 in that. So the odds are far better stacked for that. But we got to get the 50% girl to prove out, So
well, I can't get a moonglow from 20 odd eggs. With
from 100 odd eggs.
Being both caramel double het parents, whereas you'll get one caramel, one posset, and one posset for something else, and put them together, and everything will prove out, and you get the one in 14,000 odds to go in your favour.
I think I've been very lucky, but I look forward to the future of all these triple hets, and quad het things we plan, and I wonder how good it'll be chasing down the 1 in 64 and 1 in 128 stuff.
Yeah, wait till there's 6 genes involved.
Not cool. Not cool.
That's a lot of odds. So Cassie says she's putting a boy to bed. I'm sorry. What a shame. Maybe next year. Yes.
We'll see.
Yep. Got to do Cassidy. So got to look after one's family. That's for sure. So anyway, well, look at the time, Brent. So
on YouTube.
It is 8:37.
Made its time. We did well. We've an hour and 5 minutes. That's pretty good.
Yep. We punched through it pretty quick. So, what do you got coming up? What are you expecting soon?
The next one is that triple head clutch. The sole surviving 2 eggs from the Pepper Boy to the albino granite, which was another disastrous multi-year project of tears on my behalf. So she laid 2 eggs and about 10 or 12 slugs. But the 2 eggs have been fantastic. They look great from the start. They're still looking very good now. So I've elevated them to the top shelf of the incubator
to extra warmth.
Express them out because they were actually getting towards, I think they're due 22nd, 23rd, and they were very full when I looked at them a couple of days ago. So I said, that's where you can use your incubator. Read how the egg looks and just chuck it up the top and let's cook them up. Get them to 31 and a half for that final week and get them closer to ready.
Yep, I normally do the same as things start to pip and hatch. They start to go down the bottom, and everything else starts to move up that I want to try to crank up. So I think I've got another striped albino clutch, I think. And the pure albino Darwin, the head albino Darwin clutch. I think I was looking at before. Not a lot, mate. I don't have a lot coming this season. Like I said, there's a few maternally cooking ones. One's not looking so great up there. The others seem to be okay. But it was a trial and error. Sometimes you've got to crack at these things, work out what's going wrong, and then, following season, back it up with some changes. Yep. Try to rectify the issues you have in the season. So not a lot coming from me, but
the head albino clutch will be a good one to bet on, mate. Wild types versus albinos. That'll be the next bottle bet, I think, because we're back to square now. We've got nothing going each way, so it's kind of boring.
Yeah. So these guys did make it any fun. We probably could have had a gamble on that. They're probably sitting not far off the right odds. 1 in 4.
Yeah, head to head, it's about right. First clutch just under, the other one probably about right. So
there's 1 marble and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5 wild types in there. So not too far.
Yeah, it's about right. Yeah,
out of the expectation.
Yep.
So it's good.
Roll.
Anyway, we'll do it soon. So Brent, if people are looking for you or want to get in contact for animals or whatever, whereabouts do they find you, mate?
KHP Reptiles on Facebook, where they all come. Brent Smith on Messenger. I do get a few inquiries through the website, khpreptiles.com.au. I finally updated my for sale list after many months of ignoring it, and I went through and worked out all my holdbacks where I keep back 2 or 3, and now we'll sell 1 or 2 of those. So I have the final list. Anyone who's looking for anything late in the season, it is updated for the final time this year.
Yep.
And you, sir?
Yep. Darren Whitaker on Messenger or Morelia by Design on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. And same thing, mate. I'm actually working on mine currently.
On the website?
On my list for sale. It's here somewhere.
Just the list. That's a big list of yours. That's more like a novel.
It is. It is. I look at some of the older animals, and it's like up to 60.
Yeah. All the stuff you just hang on to in case for a bit longer and see.
Well, as mentioned before, I have stuff getting up to size that needs to move into adult enclosures. So
yes.
I'm like,
there's no adult enclosures empty.
There is no adult enclosures empty. And so I need
it's a horrible feeling that's the only thing worse than that is the feeling of too many eggs in the incubator for tubs. I think that's, for me at the moment, that's a living nightmare. But, you'd be feeling that pain trying to move stuff into a bigger tub when there just is no bigger tubs.
Yeah. Well, the hatchy list is probably best part 80 or 90 on there.
Yeah, so, that's a good list for this time of year.
Yeah. Well, from what I had from last year, believe me, it's a massive drop in numbers. So,
Yes.
it is a massive drop from what I've had. It's nice to be able to look at a hatchery and go, oh, I've actually got room for hatchies now.
Horse. Yeah, wow. Yeah, beautiful.
So, yeah, all good. But anyway.
Enjoy it. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah. But anyway, Samuel Dittmar says, what have you got planned for quad hets, Brent? Please share. We will one day.
Oh, it's a secret. It's a secret for now.
We will one day. The wheels are always turning. The wheels are always turning.
Triple heads next year to make some visuals. Quad heads a little way away yet.
Yeah. Actually, more than quad. I think 6 or something like that. But anyway,
quad and some.
Yes. But anyway. All right, guys. Well, thanks for dropping in. Thanks for saying hello and chatting. We will be back, I imagine. How long before your next one, you reckon, will be?
Not far, mate. The next one's a little clutch 6. I was looking at it 2 or 3 days, I think. Not far, so
yeah.
So we won't be far away.
Yeah. So we'll be back in a few days. So thanks for dropping in. Thanks for saying hi in the chat. We always try to, mention everyone and say hello because we appreciate you dropping in to listen to us dribble and seeing what we've got. And we will see you all again in hopefully within a week.
Yeah,
nice.
for sure.
So anyway, good night from me. Stay safe, everyone, and we'll